Hello beautiful people, and welcome back to another video. My name is Danny, and on this channel we talk about everything that's bettering ourselves from the inside out. So if bettering yourself is something you're into, then hit the subscribe button so you never miss a video with me. So I heard not too long ago something that really changed my mindset immediately. There is a woman who I follow that I've followed for so many years. I love her so much. I may have mentioned her in previous videos, but her name is Gala Darling, and I'll put her information up right here. And she had said basically something along the lines of, how would your future self, future you, feel 10 years from now if you're doing the same exact thing? How upset would she be at the current you 10 years from now, and wondering, where did it go wrong? What did you do? Why have you not progressed? Where did you lose the time and stay stuck in this mold of who you thought you were? Where's the growth? Where's the development? And when I heard that, I was like, I personally am very much one to want to develop, want to grow. That's just basically what my channel is about, right? Bettering ourselves from the inside out. And if you're listening to this video, then you're probably thinking the same thing. And thinking about this in a way of 10 years from now, I want to be flourishing. I want to be close to all of my dreams coming true, and continuing to have more, and continuing to grow, and continuing to flourish into the beautiful butterfly that I am. I want to reiterate this idea that future you should be proud of current you, because in 10 years from now, in 6 months from now, that person that you can be, the future you that you're going to step into, she's going to look at this version of you and be like, I'm so freaking proud. Like, I'm so proud of her because she really did the things, she really made the moves, she stepped into this version of who we are now because she knew she could. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're at the halfway marker of the year, right? And we have 6 months left of our year to go into 2026. And me personally, I know that I want to have so many things done. And I got a little overwhelmed in the beginning because I was like, holy shit, we're reaching the halfway point of the year. I don't know for sure if I have all my ducks in a row. I don't know if I have everything aligned to how I want it to be. So I decided to make a list. And today I want to speak about what I added to my list to take the pressure off and to take away that like disorganization in my mind and all this clutter, because it's easy to be like, 6 months left, where do I start? Who am I? What do I do? You know, things like that. So we're going to break it down. How many people make a New Year's resolution? I know I do. I know I participate in the New Year's resolution. Of course, I have my goals that I have throughout the entire year, but it's fun to make a New Year's resolution. It's fun to be the type of person who's like, I know by next year I'm gonna have this much money, I'm gonna look like this, 2026 is gonna be my year, whatever. I participate in that because it's fun to have that hope. That's what a New Year's resolution gives you, is it gives you hope. However, we don't want to just hold on to hope. We want to have hope, but we also want to carry through, because a lot of those people who make those New Year's resolutions fall off. They don't continue to stick to it the next year, and then they'll have the exact same goals the following year and the following year after that, and it's always this consistent pattern of like, this year I'm going to lose 20 pounds, this year I'm going to quit my job and move to the Bahamas. Whatever the situation is, these people have these same goals because they're not constructing a plan to get them to that next step. As far as a resolution goes, or goals go, I think they're amazing. I think having hope is one of the best things that as a human we can have, because being hopeless, then what? We have nothing to live for. So having hope is a necessity. And I love that a New Year's resolution gives us that hope and gives us this idea that's like, we can reach this point of whatever it is. The first thing that I want you to do before we get into any of the major steps is to take a moment to take a deep breath, sit with yourself, think about the version of you on January 1st, 2025. Okay? That version, maybe you sat underneath the table a couple hours prior to that, and ate a bunch of grapes because you wanted the love of your life to show up. Maybe you did the whole, I'm gonna wear a certain type of underwear to try to manifest that into my life. Maybe you had an entire script out of like everything that you wanted to do, or maybe you just had this same carryover idea from the previous year because you didn't follow through with it of what your goal was going to be. Whatever it is, this is a new slate, this is a new start. We do have 6 months. There's enough time for us to get our goals really kicked into gear here. So what's your goal? What was it that you started January 1st of 2025? What was it? What did you tell yourself this year? I'm going to do this, this, and this. Those are the things that you're going to need to check in with yourself, write them down, figure it out as far as like what was the main ideas of what you wanted. For example, I knew that I wanted to be more consistent with my content. I knew that I wanted to start creating a lot more videos and putting myself out there because that's a goal and a dream of mine. I knew that I wanted to really lock in on my physical self and my health and my mental health and my spirituality. I knew that I had like a whole list of things to do, which we're gonna break them down, and we're gonna have a little bit more of these questions kind of designed to see what is it that we're exactly looking for. First step is to really figure out what it was. What was the goal originally? Do you want to make any shifts to this goal? Do you want to add anything else to this goal? Do you want to take some things away because maybe it's not in alignment anymore? Maybe before you were trying to get your switch up your home. Maybe you were going to redecorate your home and that was like a major goal of 2025, and now you're like, I actually really love the way everything's set up. I just might need to change the lighting a little bit, something like that. So it could be big, it could be small, whatever it is. Get to the idea of what was the goal first and foremost. Once you figure out what your goal was and what you want to tailor it to now, this is going to be part of our first step. Once we have the idea of what was our goal, the original goal in the first place, what did we start our year off and be like, this is my goal, this is what I want. Now we're going to do a little bit of a self-audit, and we're going to see, why did we stop doing that? Was it to get into the gym 3 to 5 days a week? Was it to eat healthy? Was it to go to church every Sunday? Was it to start journaling? Was it to write your book? Was it to spend more time with family? What made you stray away from this idea of your goal? What was the purpose behind it? What did you do to make yourself stop? Did you miss a day at the gym? And then if you're gonna miss 1 day, okay, but you don't ever miss 2, because then it's gonna trickle into 3 and 4, and before you know it, you fell off the freaking wagon and you're not going to the gym anymore. One is doing a self-audit. Once you have the idea of what your goals were, figure out, why did you stop doing those things? Did you start off really strong and it was too much? Did you not start at all? Did you start and then you're like slowly kind of tapered off doing nothing that was going to support that goal? We really need to think about our higher self here and how that's going to really mold us. And the reflection back in 10 years from now is, I'm proud, not why didn't she do more? Why didn't he do more? Why didn't they sit there and try to plan something and get a goal in place here? So what I like to do in this situation, because as I said in the beginning, I was feeling very overwhelmed, I like to sit with myself and have a moment to where I'm like meditating, journaling, maybe doing some EFT tapping, which is emotional freedom technique. I've spoken about this before. And you just basically tap on your meridian points all throughout your body, telling yourself certain things. So if it's, what is my goal for this year? Where am I going to be at the end of 2025? What do I want to accomplish? I can accomplish this. I'm worthy of accomplishing this. Those type of things is what you would tell yourself, these positive affirmations, as well as telling yourself that up to this point, everything's okay. You forgive yourself for the bullshit that you've been through, and you know, the not wanting to put that foot forward and step into that self. Like, you forgive yourself, you love yourself, and figuring out right in the beginning what it is you want, where you're gonna go, and why you stopped, right? So that's what I really want for you with step 1, is to do a self-audit, do a reset, and figure out your first part of like, what is it that you want. Step 2 is going to break it down into the little aspects, because we're going to we're gonna step into goals and planning them out. So what I did is I took everything and I broke it into sections. I took my finances and I said, what kind of money do I want to make? What kind of increase and fluctuation do I want to make into my finances? Do I want to save? Do I want to pay off debt? Finances, ask the questions, give the answer. Another question would be, are you currently happy with what you're making? Are you happy with the amount of money that you're making in a month? I know a lot of people are going to say no because, you know, that's just the way we are. We want to make more money, and I know that personally, that like when I make more money, I feel like, okay, I feel so much better making a little bit more money. However, having an idea and a plan with your finances is going to be the best thing for you, because then you know where your money's going, you know how much you want to set aside for debt relief, you know how much you want to set aside for your vacation fund, you know how much you need to increase your monthly income so that can go into the next step, career. Are you ready to make a huge shift? Are you ready to ask your boss for that raise? Are you ready to try out for the promotion? Are you ready to quit your job and start a whole new side business that maybe you want to start selling gym clothes? Maybe you want to open your own coffee shop. Get really detailed about it. Maybe you want to continue doing the current job you're doing as well as a side hustle. These are things that are going to put you into that mentality of not having so much pressure to be like, where am I going to make an extra $1,000 a month, an extra $5,000 a month? If you put that into a side hustle, or you put that into a savings account that's growing your money, if you put that into, maybe you're selling some stuff on the side, putting your money into categories so you know what you're saving, maybe making more food at home, you're going to be able to catch your little pockets here and there of where your finances can flourish, and when you can, where you can start manifesting that more money for you and for your month. Next, I went into health and wellness. Health and wellness, I told myself this is my body goal. I made myself a little collage on my phone that I see every single day. I put it on my vision board. I tell myself every morning positive affirmations, as well as making sure that I'm eating healthy. Also having a moment where if I want something, I'm gonna have it, but I'm not gonna do it in such a vast amount. I started to track my calories just to see where I'm at on a daily basis. I didn't do anything different. I was just like, what am I currently eating? Because you do need to start, and that's what I'm saying about breaking things into goals, because I didn't know how much I was intaking on a regular basis as far as my caloric intake. I didn't know. So tracking it for like about 2 weeks or so gives you kind of an idea of maybe don't have the extra bag of chips, a bit more vegetables on your plate to pick up the slack there. Getting on a good gym schedule, figuring out in your day. I like to plan my week on a Sunday so that way I know what days I'm gonna be able to get in the gym and really dedicate that time in there. And even if you have an extra 15-20 minutes in a day to want to walk, or to do a little Pilates circuit at home, or even just to stretch and keep that mobility in your body, it's gonna do something for you. So even the littlest of things will pile on and stack on. I'm gonna go to the gym Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So on Tuesday and on Thursday, or maybe on a Saturday, I'm gonna take a walk, or I'm gonna go to a yoga class, or I'm gonna do something else that's gonna keep me in that momentum. So it's like not everything is relying solely on the gym. Mindset and confidence. So this is gonna be your healing journey. And I speak about this quite a bit because me personally, I know how healing has changed me from the inside out so drastically. I used to be such a different person. It feels like I've lived like 5 lives all the way to get up to who I am today. And I want to continue to do this, continue to develop and heal and find little pockets inside of me that could be blockages. Maybe I have relationship blockages. Maybe I have money blockage. Maybe I have something blocking me from getting to my fitness goal. And see, those things right there, it's gonna come with identity shifting and mirror work and self-concept work. And I mean, honestly, look them up, look into it, because this is a huge part of your healing journey, because you're allowed to heal. It's a must. That's a necessity in life. When I see people, and I recognize this now because I've done so much healing myself, when I see people who are not healed or not even on the path, because I don't feel like we necessarily ever get to this like full, I'm 100% healed, I have nothing bothering me, nothing triggers me. Like, I just feel like that is a goal to be had, but I don't think it's necessarily something that's gonna come so easily for us. So even if you're working at it every single day, I'm not too sure because there's gonna be so many other things in our day-to-day. And like when we grow, when we become new people, there's gonna be other triggers that come into our life, and there's gonna be other people that come into our life, and maybe we've never been around these type of people. So it's gonna create a new type of blockage or a new type of journey to heal and be like, what's going on? How am I gonna fix this? How am I gonna get to like finding who I am internally? But when I meet people who are not healing, they're not even trying, I can tell. And I can tell that they're very closed-minded, they're very defensive, they're very sad. And I don't want that for you. I don't want that for me. I don't want that for anybody. If I can go around to everybody and just tap them on the shoulder and be like, go heal, little cutie, I would. Because I just want us all to flourish and to be happy and not have those triggers. Somebody is very unhealed and they have a lot of trauma. It is like a cloud. It's like a negative, dark cloud around them. And it's not even like they're doing it on purpose. It's just what's happening because they have this, like, they're not doing anything to lift it. They're not doing anything to come to terms with the way their life has been. They're not finding the blessings in their curses. And I feel like it's so important to heal, and I feel like it's so important to always be learning yourself and always be developing that relationship with yourself. I recently put on Substack, which I'll link it down below, my first little art. It talks about self-devotion. And think about, you are your best friend. The whole cliche about you came into this world alone and you're gonna go out alone is true. So you don't wanna have these times where it's just you and yourself and you hate yourself. You don't want to be in that position. I've been there before. It's not fun. And that's why healing, making this mindset and confidence shift is so, so big. It's so important. And that's what I want for you. So we'll move on to the next point. Relationships and love. Now, this is going to go back to what I said about mindset and confidence, because when you think about a person and they are, like, say, always in a relationship and they don't have that time to like be alone, they don't have that time to like kind of reflect on their last relationship, you're like, what are you doing? Like, take some time for yourself. That is kind of what I want to like really push here is, what do you want in a relationship? Have you received all of what you wanted in a relationship? Have you written down and made aware the things that you want in a relationship? Sometimes people don't know. And I put this in my book as well as just saying it probably in a couple other videos, but Runaway Bride. It's Julia Roberts, and she's a bride, and she keeps running away from the altar when she gets close to like being married. And there's a point in here that my mom told me, and it was like, she never had her own idea of how she liked her eggs. She's just like, whatever you want. And my mom told me, she's like, girls, me and my sister, she's like, girls, always know how you like your eggs, which kind of trickled into the rest of our life, because it's like, always know what you want in a relationship. How do you like your eggs? And of course, it's like, you can change, you can like all the eggs you want, you can like no eggs at all. But the point behind it is know yourself. Know what you like, know what you want, and don't settle for less. So when it comes to relationship and love, figure that out. Because by the end of the year, if you still don't know what you want and you're not taking that time out for yourself, you're gonna be like kicking yourself, because you're like, I could have just went to the bottom of this. I could have sat with myself alone for a couple minutes and been like, I know I want somebody who has strong family values. I know I want somebody who's very respectful. I know I want somebody who doesn't go out on the weekends all the time and drinks alcohol, or whatever the situation is that you want. You know exactly what it is, because you're not clouded by anybody else's opinions, and you really got in touch with yourself and figured it out. Now, big thing here that I want to point out, and I have said this in my book as well, is once you write this list of all these things that you want in a relationship, you need to become that list. So you want someone who's creative? Become creative. Find a creative outlet, which, side note, I wanted to go in depth more on creativity itself, but when you're not being creative, you're not, and you are a creative person just naturally, maybe when you're younger you love doing creative things and you kind of lost that along the way. If you're not having that outlet to do something creative for yourself, you will become depressed. You will become just like kind of like a shell of yourself. So regardless of finding love in a relationship, find creativity, because that is going to pop into your life and make you be like, oh my gosh, I can create this with my hands. I can create this with my mind. I can color, this picture just because I want to. Creativity is going to unlock all these new ideas about yourself. But whatever it is, whatever is on this list of things, if you want someone who's loyal, are you a loyal person? You want someone who's clean, are you a clean person? You want someone who prioritizes the gym and has a really fit and healthy body, is that something that you do? Next point, supporting yourself. And with this, right, if you only have notebooks and pens, or you don't have one and you need to go get one, do that. If you want to buy or use some of the free apps on your phone, there is planners, there is journals, there's spreadsheets, there is apps that block out time for you, track your finances, that track your habits, that'll alert you every once in a while and say, hey, go drink some water. And one of my favorite things to do is set my alarms with something cute. Wake up beautiful, good morning gorgeous, time to get that cute butt into action. Like all of my alarms have these cute little things on them, or with some kind of pretty emoji. And just seeing that little thing right there, it's like, obviously it's setting my alarm, say if it's to wake up early or to go run an errand or take my vitamin, whatever it is, it's like it makes me feel good because it's cute. It's something pretty that I see. It's just a little bit of romanticizing your life, which is fun. But a main thing here is hold yourself accountable. When you're looking back at all of these categories and you're using the planners, you're using the to-do lists, you're making the time blocked out for yourself, but then you ignore it and you don't get back to it. Or like I said before, you don't just miss one day at the gym, you miss 2, then it goes on to 3. You need to sit with yourself and be like, I'm holding myself accountable because no one's gonna make me get into that gym. I have to tell myself to get in there. I have to tell myself, don't eat the whole package of Oreos. Maybe go over here and have a fruit salad. The whole idea here is to hold yourself accountable. Maybe I'm not gonna text my ex when I have a tiny bit of wine because I know that going down that road is gonna be terrible, bad for my health, and it's not who I am anymore. And my next tip, sharpen your skills. What are your skills? What do you like to do? When we're talking about all these different categories, whether it's your career, your confidence and mindset, your creativity, whatever the situation is, maybe you're really good at math and you want to just set this whole entire crazy budget and you're like able to follow it to a T. Me, I'm not so great with math, so I need these apps and things like that to really get me in gear and hold myself accountable. But I also like to do things like, I just started taking a hot yoga class, and before I had not done yoga at a class ever, and I would just do yoga like at home and it was just like nothing, right? I started taking this class, and when I first jumped into it, which I love it, by the way, hot yoga is like, it's such a thing that feels like so much like me that I love it so much. But when I first started it, there are certain levels to the movements that you do, and I couldn't do them. I would stay in level 1, but there's like level 2, level 3. So the teacher would be like, option to do level 1, option to do level 2, option to do level 3. I've now gone to, like, I've been consistent with it and I've been sharpening my skill, and like sometimes I'll practice at home just to see if I could do it, and I've made progress. Now I can go into option level 3. And that's what I'm talking about with sharpening your skills, your goals. Do you want to learn a new language? Do you want to become really good at editing videos? Do you file the best at your company? Whatever the situation is, you need to get in alignment with that and sharpen your skills that are going to not only project into your goals, but it's also going to make you feel really good because, like I said before, say it's a creative goal, right? And you're like, I just really want to start drawing. When I was younger, I loved to draw. I thought I was pretty good at it, and I just want to draw. So then you start drawing again, and you, over time, you start sharpening it, and even if you don't do anything with these drawings, say you don't post them or sell them or put them on Etsy or anything like that. Just having that creative outlet is going to spark other parts of your life. It's going to make you feel more vibrant. It's going to make you feel more feminine, because being creative is being feminine. And polarity here, we have masculine and feminine in all of us. So our femininity, especially as a woman, needs to shine, and that is going to be contributed through a lot of creativity. But I promise you, once you start sharpening your goals and your skills and stuff that you're just like inherently good at, you're going to feel amazing, and it's going to show in all kinds of aspects of your life. And my next step, who are you? So you laid out this whole guideline, right? We've gone through finances, we've gone through career, we've gone through love, being creative, sharpening your skills, utilizing all these things that you can, that the world has put out for us. And now we have this idea of what we want, but we need to find out, who are we? Are we the type of person who wakes up at 5 a.m.? Are we the type of person who stays at home with our kids? Are we the type of person who's like this serial entrepreneur that wants to start all these businesses? Are we the type of person who knows 5 languages? Are we the type of person who can do it all? Like, whatever the situation is, I want you to really hone in on this and be like, who am I? And this is what I was saying in the beginning. When you have ability to sit there and be quiet and listen to yourself, like hear your inner self, you're going to be able to hear that come through. Because if you don't know who you are, you have these goals laid out and you kind of have this idea of who you are, listen to yourself. Take a moment of time with yourself. Bonus points if you go outside, because being outside in nature, in the sunshine, or just even if it's not sunny where you are and you're just outside and you're having that fresh air, it's gonna lock it in. You're gonna connect with the earth. You're gonna feel better. You might be able to hear a little bit better. It's gonna have this ambient noise of the outside, and it's just gonna feel really good. So it might be easier for you to lock in and listen to yourself and hear yourself say, this is who I am. This is the type of person that I am. Because the current person that you are, in order to accomplish all these goals and get to the person that you want to be, that you know you are, you have to follow this guideline. So once you figure that out, I want you to script out a detailed version of this person. My name is Danny. I wake up at 5 a.m. every morning. I start my morning off by yoga. I journal, I read, like all these things that go out your day. I make this amount of money. I go to bed at this time. I have the most amazing relationship. I have 4 kids. I run 3 businesses, like whatever the situation is. Now, I know things can happen fast. Of course, being the 6-month marker, I know that like the end of the year might be a little big for all those things to happen. Like all those things to happen, but the whole point here is like you're putting on that trajectory to become this woman or this man, whoever is listening. You're putting on this goal and you're stepping into it. This highest version of yourself, even if it's only in 6 months and you accomplish little things here and there, you're still accomplishing, you're still moving forward, and that's what we should be doing every single day. So once you have this idea and you've scripted out this perfect day, what I would love for you to do is to take some time to meditate on it and sit with yourself right when you wake up and before you go to sleep, like right when you're about to drift off. Your brain goes into a different pattern, and that pattern is going to really sink it into gear. So if you get into those motions and you can read this or meditate on this right in the morning or right before bed, it's going to really lock it in even faster. So my very last step. So being able to put in place rituals that are going to really assist your goals. So is it a good morning routine? Is it a good night routine? Like I just said, speaking about stuff right in the morning and then meditating on it right before bed, these things are really going to lock it in for you. They're going to get into your subconscious mind, and it's going to start making changes that you're not even going to recognize on the outside, because it's all an internal change. So eventually you're going to be like, wait, I don't do that anymore. I don't sit around on my ass and not go to the gym when I know it's my time to get my butt up and go on a walk or go to the gym or whatever. You're not going to do that because you've meditated on this version of who you want to be and who you know you can be, and you have these rituals to help you do so. And also celebrate your small wins? Did you lose a couple pounds? Look yourself in the mirror and be like, you are that bitch. You lost this pound. You did this. You drink more water. Did you get to your water goal for the day? Give yourself a fucking big hug. Go celebrate with an orgasm if you want to. Whatever the situation is, celebrate your goals. Don't do anything that's going to jeopardize your progress, but celebrate. Meditate on your future self. I'm gonna start putting out meditations, I hope very soon, because I am actually getting certified to become a master hypnotist as well as a life and confidence coach. So I will have a lot in store very soon. And I hope that, as well as affirmations, I want to start posting affirmations. When I had this idea of like, holy shit, we're in June, we have 6 months left of the year, I was like, what am I gonna do? So I really had to sit with myself and start planning it out. So if you can take anything from this video, just remember that you can do it. It is possible. Whatever it is, it's possible for you. You just need a plan of action and you need to hold yourself accountable, because no one is gonna save you. No one's coming to do this for you, right? So really check in with ourselves daily and make sure that we are progressing forward. And sometimes you're gonna have days where you feel like shit and you're not gonna wanna do XYZ on your plate, but those are the days when you should lock in better. You should make yourself do something that's gonna make yourself feel better, because if you wake up on a bad mental health day or bad body image day, doing those little things, they're gonna propel you forward, and you're gonna know, holy shit, I have an outlet to my bad days. I have an outlet to, even though I might not feel my best right now, I know if I did this and this, I would feel amazing. And a lot of times we don't do those things because we're just like, I don't wanna fucking do that. Like, I just wanna lay here. I don't wanna put myself together. I don't wanna do anything like that. But those are the days that it counts most, because once you do actually do them, you're gonna feel like $1 million. You're gonna feel so amazing. You're gonna feel like that bitch. You're gonna feel so good. So thank you so much for getting through my video. I feel like I've rambled on quite a bit, quite quickly, but that's the whole point here. And I would love to know little things that you're going to be doing and how you're going to be going through to the next 6 months to accomplish your goals. So let's talk about it in the comments, and I will put my Instagram somewhere right here so you can follow me there. I do post daily. I just started, but I do post daily affirmations on my Instagram, on my TikTok, and as well as on my Substack, which I will link all of those in the description below, as well as my book, which you can't see, and I will link that in the description box as well. So again, thank you so much. I loved this, and I love you for all your support. Until next time.